Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic, and welcome to this deep woo-woo episode tonight. Tarot reading by Janine. You can find her work, as always, at Tarot by Janine here on YouTube and also Sending Ravens. Janine, bienvenue. Comment ça va?
How are you doing, Jean-Claude?
I'm doing well. You
Long
can
time
answer.
no see.
Yeah, long time no see.
Yeah.
I know. Oh my God. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight on this live interactive show. Man, we've got a full slide deck for you guys and a few updates to give you here before we start the show. Quite a bit happening here in the last couple of days. Where do I start? Janine, hold on a second here. Let me bring this one back up. Okay. So last night, you and I finally were able to interview the amazing Carla from Ascension Organites. Let us know your thoughts. How did this go for the people who haven't seen the show yet?
I think we might have surprised her a bit in a couple of ways. I definitely, we went pretty woo on her about where she's from and how she got here to the earth plane. We got some interesting, information there, channeled. So that was cool. And I hope she's okay with it. I mean, it's pretty weird to hear about yourself like that, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And then, of course, her work speaks for itself. It's brilliant and beautiful.
Right.
And
go ahead. Keep going.
All of these pyramids, from the beginning, just the whole idea of these beautiful pyramids coming on the show. But anyway, so it's wonderful that she's got so many orders too. I mean.
Well, let me get into that. So, of course, we pushed it out last night, and within 2 hours, she had to shut down the listings on her Etsy site because it just completely overwhelmed her with sales. And so I've been going back and forth with her this morning. We talked about a few strategies on how maybe to reopen the site here, because I'm used to having some issues with websites and extreme demand on bandwidth and all that stuff. So anyways, her site is now back up, and she's concentrated on some of the pyramids that are easier, faster for her to produce, because of course, these are all handmade. They're not from China. They're not pre-pressed in a mold and all this. Like every single pyramid here takes a lot of time. And so anyway, she's absolutely happy with what's happening. It's basically a life changer for her. And so I really want to encourage you guys. Let me bring that link back down, because a few people, this morning I woke up to a bunch of emails saying, JC, Carla's site is down. Is everything sold out? I missed it, And so I'm like, hold on, what the hell's going on? I just woke up. I need to take my coffee. So, anyways, so long story short, the website now on her Etsy page is back up and running. She's got a little bit of a note here of her appearance and how this kind of blew up today on her channel. But as you can see, look at this. Even now, live as we're here. Look at these things. Over 20 people have this in their cart, for almost each of her pyramids here. It's absolutely mind-boggling. There's a big demand. And you know what was funny too? When you and I pulled Carla, I said, hey, can you ask a question? I think Carla, because of her galactic origins, and people can go watch the episode, she's doing something different with these organite pyramids than other builders. And I think, and you and I were pulling cards that, and it's going to attract a lot of people for the exact reason. They won't be able to put their finger on it, but there's something about the way she produces them. So, guys, if you're in the basket right now, if your pyramid's in the basket and you're still contemplating, should I buy this or not? You might want to press buy now and get it done before she sells out again or runs out of stock here, especially if you guys are trying to get these as gifts for people.
Yeah,
I encourage you to maybe take a look at that. Let me bring that link down. Of course, the BeyondMystic discount, 10% off of all those beautiful organites is in play also. Now, Janine, let's talk about this here. You and I wanted to do this episode. First of all, we thought her story was absolutely amazing, given the connection here with the Alpha Centauri message and the work that Sherry Diffban was doing. But we're also happy to promote local people doing real things, as opposed to China and this whole industrial cabal. Can you speak to that a little bit for the audience?
Well, I think the new world that we're creating together, we're going into, is absolutely going to be all about people doing individual things and putting their true essence and energy into them, like not exactly like back in the old days, but there's some elements of back in the old days, and then we've got sort of new ways of doing that we have new equipment to do that with, so we can do it better now, but we still need, people still want a real connection with, instead of just getting things for the sake of things, have something because it means something and somebody put some energy into it, and they don't have things that are more sacred. Live in a more sacred way. Really understand what it is you're collecting, and not just for the sake of having a thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So like there's an energy to it, and somebody put energy into it. And I think that's the way of the future. I mean, we're all going to be shopping more locally and more looking for people that are actually putting something positive into what they're putting out there.
Yeah. Well, you guys saw Carla, you heard her frequency, her story, her voice. You be the judge. Maybe check that video out if you haven't already seen it. And then if you feel like it, maybe get yourself some orgonite here. One of the things that Janine was pulling to is that these pyramids that Carla is making is accelerating whatever frequency is in those pyramids for you, so whatever that reason is, healing, manifesting, or whatever, there seems to be an accelerator function there, and that's absolutely beautiful. All right, so good luck, Carla. I know you're busy. She was up at 5 a.m. this morning. I know she pushed out at least 50 of those pyramids out the door today, mailing them out to the audience members. So she's a busy woman.
She's going to need some help.
She told me she already got a few, and I said, put the call out in universe, and people will help you. Don't worry.
People will come.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, man. I don't even know where to start here, Janine. Do I start with the story or do I start with this one? Okay, let's briefly talk about this because you just put it out in your drive-in chat. Explain that for this audience here, what's going on. This episode here, and again, as you can see from some of the words up here, we can absolutely not talk about most of it here on YouTube. But this is absolutely a crazy episode, and it brought us to places that we just did not imagine going to when we first started. Absolutely amazing. What do you feel safe saying about it, or is that enough for now?
I think it was a giant ritual.
Yeah.
And when you look into the connections that this guy has, and even like some of the ways they put the stage up and everything, and it's interesting. I think he's being criminally charged, and I think he should be, frankly, because if you watch some of the clips, he's not paying attention when people are screaming and yelling, and there's ambulances in his crowd, and he's still not stopping the show, only for a few minutes at a time. He pushes on through the show. So it's like, come on, guys, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, and you and I went into way more detail than this. That's one item, but it's just compounding some of the weird things after this, and of course the cover up in there, and also the testing of this remote activation. And that's all I'm going to say for this show here. And it could tie into what a lot of researchers were looking at last year with some of these towers. We'll just call them towers. So, anyways, let me bring that link down, guys. Go check it out. It's available now. We just put it out last night, actually, for the Insider Access Pass members, and we put it out later today here for the general public. So it's ready to go. Okay, I think that's enough skirting on that one because that was a weird one. All right, we'll skirt just a little bit more here to show that we're still brave, but this is a weird one. I'm not even going to play the clip. But essentially here, this is mainstream media. Hold on, let me mute this. I want to go back to the screen here. They're talking about blood donors. So fair enough topic to have here on YouTube. But what they're saying now here on mainstream media is something that Cliff High, other researchers were saying over a year ago, that if you had some of those products in you, you would not be eligible to give blood. And here we are in mainstream news with exactly that. Those who did cannot. That's all I'll say. Let me bring that link down and you guys can go watch it for yourself. Mainstream news. So how quickly is this narrative breaking when suddenly they're all saying the stuff that we were saying a year ago? This is going faster and faster and faster.
Okay.
Any thoughts on this before we go? Yeah, go ahead.
It's unbelievable. It's like, okay, so they're pushing something that's creating them to need. So all of these people are having these issues that got the something. Especially two of the somethings. Okay, so they're needing extra blood for issues, but they can't take those people's blood. So they're looking for us, the ostracized ones, who didn't were did our research and didn't feel compelled to do something like that.
Mhm.
Okay, are you kidding me? It's unbelievable.
It's not just that. It's just like, okay, in Quebec now, the premier basically fell on his sword last week. You and I have covered this before, but essentially he gave them another month to comply with the mandate. The health workers said, "F you," a month ago, we're calling your bluff. We're just not doing it. We're walking out. And now the province has backtracked. Ontario has also backtracked. And then I'm saying, well, wait a second. They're allowed to go back to work, but they're still ostracized. They can't go to the restaurant. They can't travel. They can't do this. They can't do that. But yet they're the bad people. And here again now is another example of these ostracized people. Oh, we're good enough to help everybody else, but we still can't travel. We still can't go to the restaurant.
It doesn't even, there's nothing sensible about it. If somebody's still buying this narrative, they've got to seriously look at how their mind is working.
Yeah. What was that? What's that word you usually say that start with AB? I was thinking about it tonight. I'm like, we should make a T-shirt. JC and Janine, absurd together. Wouldn't that be a cool T-shirt?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. Anyways, I was investigating today how to add maybe a swag shop to the web. A lot of people are asking me for mugs.
I got some good sayings I could put on there.
Yeah, we can have fun with that. Okay. Yeah, exactly. All right. Oh man, guys, that's a crazy one with the blood thing. Again, it's right in your face. The truth is there. Finally, the truth is coming out everywhere. This guy here too. Again, I'm not going to play this clip. Let me bring the link down. Just as we're covering this topic here and using our code words, he's essentially saying that, I won't read that, but essentially he's saying that this product is gene therapy. And he said, had we polled people 2-3 years ago whether or not they would want to volunteer for experimental gene therapy, their own data suggested that 95% plus of people would say, no, absolutely not. I don't want to volunteer for gene therapy, experimental as it is. And yet here it is. We've all been forced to take experimental gene therapy again.
Or they're trying to. We're not going to be forced. I'm not.
Well, I mean, the people who have already taken it have been forced unknowingly, maybe, because again, the truth came out a week ago with the Freedom of Information Act request that they had to change the wording and the definition of the product because it is actually not the product as it is intended and how it is being portrayed to the public. Again, that's the best I can say here on the thing. So truth coming out, guys. Absolutely crazy. Now, holy shit, the scroll is going really fast. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I can't read you guys. You're too fast. We'll get to some questions here in the PayPal tip jar. And also, I have to open up my Discord channel for the Insider Access member crowd. So let me just log into that very quickly. Okay, I'm there now. Let's start with this first story as I set up the rest of these questions here. Let's do this one. Had you followed this story at all about this shooting?
No, I didn't really follow it.
Neither have I. And I was surprised when I saw it today. I was like, huh, it's making the news here again. The whole case from the prosecution just basically crumbled because the eyewitness for the prosecution just told the truth. And the whole prosecution is like, like everything just died today. And I'm like, wow, since when do you see that going on? And again, we're seeing it more and more now with the Steele dossier coming out and all of these things. Maybe just ask the cards, what's going on with this one today? Why are we being shown this absolute debacle of the prosecution trying to present a case that has absolutely no basis here? The guy, not only is the guy not guilty, the other guy on the other end of the screen here is not guilty. He shouldn't have been arrested in the first place or tried in the first place.
What was he arrested for? I don't even know.
Okay, so we should probably watch the wording here because I believe this could be a flag thing. So, so it's shooting somebody. So it's about shooting. I guess that's all I could say. But it's not. It doesn't matter. The point of the story is here that the prosecution absolutely look like idiots, like major idiots, and we're being shown how perhaps over and over and over here what we think is pure and just and justice here from the prosecutorial standpoint of our officials is absolutely not the case, that it's the contrary.
I think they wanted them to look like that. I think they got set up.
Yeah, big setup.
The setup. They wanted them. They got exactly what they wanted. This was intended to, like, so I don't know how they did it, but it was all a setup to let everybody see in public what a scam even the whole justice system is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, of course, there's more of that coming out here, and I have another idea for another show on all of this too. It ties in, and yes, I'm aware of somebody saying, "Wait, that's not Rittenhouse." No, I understand. It's not Kyle that's being pictured. That's the other witness that was saying the truth here. Anyway, it's a fabulous story, and it's just weird to see it. I was like, "Yeah, wow, isn't it fascinating how suddenly the truth comes out in court, and then oh shit." It's a weird moment. It's just a weird energy day, I think. Okay. Let's go here. This weekend, the Biden presidency passed this new infrastructure bill, finally, trillions of dollars again. And Cliff was on his video. I believe it was the OWU or the sign of Wu to come or something like that. And let me bring it up for the audience here. And he was explaining that this bill, having been passed now, was one of the last, if not the last, temporal markers he was looking for that led us into this final hyperinflation scenario where we see these panic to own into crypto, gold, and silver, and basically the final degradation of the dollar. So he said, basically, we're here now, and we're about to see the results of that. And of course, here today, just a day and a half later after the bill is presented, we're seeing mainstream media freak out now, and we're seeing the words. In this particular instance, it says, our system can fall apart if every peasant quits the physical economy and starts trading into crypto. Again, the idea here why they're trading into something else is because they no longer have confidence, seeing as this hyperinflation is taking place. So I wanted to ask you here, we kind of did a brief look at this on last night's pay-per-view, but for this audience here tonight, are we there now, as Cliff is saying, where this infrastructure bill has baked in the cake now, this last leg of this hyperinflation that brings us into this whole new world without perhaps the central banking model on our back?
Well, we're definitely at the end of the facade that was the paper dollars. Big old facade. But things are going to get a little murky, before they're going to get kind of messy before they get really clarified, right? Because there's going to be a lot of fear around when people actually see that the dollar that they actually figure out that the Fed is bankrupt, and not just that. I mean, a big, I can't even say the words on here. So you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
A big lie. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people really angry and freaking out because for some reason they're just not noticing whatever all the rest of us have noticed for at least the last couple of years leading up. And some people could see this coming years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yep, very good. And also here in mainstream news today, they're talking about revisiting Bretton Woods. Of course, 50 years since the end of Bretton Woods and this geopolitical review of what do you see there on the screen? Bitcoin and also gold as the color. So again, it seems like the machine right now is priming us with this last event to start skewing us into this brave new world here. So today, Bitcoin hit $67,000 all-time high. Okay, and we're getting closer and closer to that $100,000 Bitcoin before Christmas. Again, one of those predictions. So let's ask: is this infrastructure bill here and this breakage of the petrodollar on acceleration curve right now towards this $100,000 Bitcoin before Christmas? Is it this Christmas, or are we talking about Christmas 2022?
Okay, so this might be a little off sideline here. I got a sideline here.
Okay.
Okay, so I got Mr. T and his money system that I know is sort of something that he's been in charge of on the back burner here for a really long time, and I believe they actually snuck it up underneath the other one. So that's in play too, not to underestimate. There's going to be, and this card goes with gold, a gold-backed system, and it's actually running alongside the other one. So that's not an illusion. That's actually a real thing. The other thing that you're talking about is absolutely already gone kaput, because this was in the past. So they're already like gone. They're like, it's just a facade that they're even still there. It's
okay.
waiting. You're waiting. It could be a wait.
Well, so if we're asking just in terms of timing, let's lump in what you just said about that system, and also perhaps $64,000 Bitcoin and $600 silver. Are we on track for this December? All of these replacement ideas to the old system, or are we talking about December in 2022? Because don't forget, this forecast dates from, I believe, 2017. So we are a couple of years behind the curve. We have a lot of reasons why perhaps that was in terms of the timeline. But are we looking at this Christmas, or do we have another year to prepare? I think it's a lot of people are asking, not believing that perhaps it's already done.
Okay, so sometime between now and Christmas, there's going to be a big financial crash. So that looks like the outing of, because this would be the bad guy bankers, right? So that's gonna happen first. Okay, everybody's money is safe though. So even if you've got money in the bank and it's dollars and it's not the Bitcoin, it's not the other kind of coins that there are, it's not gold or silver, you'll still be okay. Something's in the background going to save people. Now, I'm not trying to false hope. I'm just getting what I get in the cards. Yeah. I think it's between now and February, all of that'll come to pass.
It's funny you asked that. Susan, I believe. Wait, hold on. I just saw a question. Yeah, Susan, question for Janine. This is from the Insider Access Pass Discord group. What happens in January and February, question mark, financial system, disclosure process, sleeper reactions? So she's talking about an awakening here to something that has to do with the financial system, but she's pointing to January, February. Can we ask the cards specifically then? What's in January, February? Not price-wise. I guess we can hit those prices in December, as you're saying here, maybe late fall. But what happens in January, February? Sleeper reactions to disclosure process. That's the word, the key words there in her phrase. From Susan. Thank you for that question.
So she's probably talking disclosure of the whole corrupt system.
The man behind the curtain. Yeah.
Yeah, what the truthers have been talking about for a couple of years. The
Yeah.
whole blood money system.
Yeah.
The whole, all the corrupty, yucky things. It seems to go a really unique way. It's not there's a crash, but a quick recovery. So that's interesting. And I've been getting that consistently. So there's a crash and a quick recovery because people will realize they're actually better set up somehow on the other side of that crash. It's like it freed them. There's more independence. Okay. And that makes sense to disclosure too, because when all this stuff gets disclosed, all of those bogus mandates and ridiculous laws have to go by the wayside. We're not going to tolerate any of that kind of tyrant behavior by our governments. Okay. They're going down, you guys. Okay. So I feel like we're going to feel more like it's almost like you can make money on your own terms. Like this feels like you have a lot more opportunity to like that true North American dream, right? Where and it'll be all over the world, I think, where you can actually be an entrepreneur and actually create abundance for yourself. It's not just going to fall in your lap, I don't think, but it'll come a lot. Like there's not going to be as many boundaries between you and your abundance if you put a little creative energy into it.
Right. Well, let's go back to this article here. Yeah. This is what it's saying. Our system can fall apart. These are the bad guys talking here. If the peasants, the peasants, just quit that game and start training with ourselves. He's talking about crypto here. He's not saying Bitcoin itself. He's just saying other means than our slavery system here. We're done if people realize that they can just not play and choose their own game. And this is what a lot of cryptocurrencies, especially the decentralized one, permit. People transaction with each other without a third party taking a cut. So that's
exactly what that card is. That independent. That's exactly what she knows. That nobody owns her.
Right.
She's got her own money, and so she's got a falcon. So she's kind of a warrior. But for a woman in the 1400s, this was drawn, original drawings came from the 1400s. She's pretty interesting. She's not trying to look sexy or anything. Look at her outfit. She's not wearing anything that cinches her waist or puts her breasts forward, or you know how they used to dress.
Right.
She's not doing any of that. She's totally just wearing a comfortable outfit. She's got a falcon for a pet, which is very rare that a woman would have a falcon for a pet. And she's got all this money. She doesn't have to marry for money because this was from the 1400s. So that's why I'm describing it that way. So it's trying to say we're going to realize our power and that it's in our own independence and sovereignty.
Wow.
By this
guys.
Now in January. So I think the quick recovery is when we realize, wait a sec, this is going to be way better going forward and not worse.
Yeah.
That's why we'll recover quickly. Humans are interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think, there's going to be some that just get devastated, whatever. They just can't handle it.
Yeah. It's funny. People call me right during the show. It's going through my computer. I don't know how that happens. Did you hear that ring?
No.
You didn't hear that? Oh, that's weird. Okay, I don't know if the audience heard that. It strikes me because it's like, oh, what just happened to my screen? Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. And the whole thing about deciding not to play their game and perhaps playing our games and trading amongst ourselves directly and swapping crypto directly, I think is the name of the game. And for a lot of people, that scares them because they haven't been educated in that system yet. And what Janine and I were saying in the last Beyond Crypto Woo report, I think it was the October 25th one here for November, we were saying that, this system is coming up no matter what, whether it's the Trump system or anything else that's coming up. At some point here, crypto is mixed into it. There's gold and silver also, but there is some type of digital currency without the middleman. Not sure exactly how it'll look, and we know that there's a lot of debate on how it's going to look, but it's still going to be part of our lives here. And so Joe and I put out this crash course for you guys. This is designed for the people who have not yet entered really the crypto market and who are afraid. They don't know how to set up their exchange, set up their wallets, how to do that safely with their keys and their passwords being protected and all of that stuff. So we've put together this 2-hour course. It's a step-by-step on just how to get started, get the basics done, and get the basics done right so that you kind of have a little bit of diversity here in terms of maybe getting out of this dying system. Anyways, check that out. That's the Beyond Crypto Panic to Own crash course. It's priced at $111 right now. Joe and I put a lot of work into this, and most of these courses go online between $200 and $1,000. So we're very competitive already at $111. But what's included in this also is Joe's wallet. And Janine and I were talking about the fact yesterday was printed in the mainstream news that 4% of Americans had just recently quit their jobs because of their crypto profits. Well, Joe is one of those guys. And if you learn his story, he knows how to get it done. He's already done it himself. And so he shares in that too, the spread of his wallet. So for a lot of the new people saying, well, what do I buy? How much of what do I buy? There's a good example here in this video as well as how to at least get started and get your feet wet. So give it a try. You might be better for it, seeing as how everybody's trying to force us here in one way or another to move into this other system here moving forward. Okay, next thing here on the silver. Was it silver? Where's Denis? There was a question for Denis. I just lost it. Hold on a second. I just lost that off the screen. Where did it go? Okay, let me go to PayPal in the middle, in the meantime, and ask you this question from Steve. Okay, so let me scroll that up. Sorry, guys, I just lost that last question. Okay, hold on, I'm zooming this in the middle here. Okay, Steve. Jason and Janine, love you both. Janine, would you please pull cards about the company GameStop, and pull the word Jamerica. GameStop is transitioning from retail brick and mortar to a tech company. Steve, I'm not sure I understand where you're going with that. Do you understand the question? Do you have enough there to pull cards on that, Janine?
What's the cards about the company?
Pull on, yeah.
America. So pull on it. So what does he mean by that? What you need to know from these questions is, what are you getting at? What would you like to actually know?
Yeah.
So just pulling around it could be really vague, right? We can pick up on the person there.
Well, Steve, I appreciate the donation, man. That's absolutely nice. If you're still in the chat, try to put that in the live chat. Although there's a lot of people now, I'll try to pick it up. Hopefully your name matches your nickname in the chat, and we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Now, Janine, everybody's asking, including myself here, just before we went live, there's this weird thing happening with Gavin Newsom. Apparently he's gone missing. His wife posted something on Twitter. Okay, so set that up for the audience, and then we'll put some cards here.
Yeah, I've heard about that. Now, isn't he the one? There's a story going around that he got rounded up.
Yes, yes. So that's one of the stories. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So that's interesting. And now he's missing at the same time. Literally, like, they have to admit that he's been missing. We should pull some cards on that.
That's really, we should.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, where do we start? Has he been rounded up?
Yeah, just where is he?
Where the hell is he? Okay,
we'll just open it right up and say, what the heck's going on with this guy? What's really going on with this guy?
Yeah, and then we'll ask if his wife actually knows, or she's scrambling to just hold the fort because she doesn't know what the hell is going on. So let's start by saying, where the hell is he? What's going on with Gavin?
He's in a secret location that is not very fun. So he's not having a good time. It came out of the blue, and he's really upset about it. So it sounds like he got rounded up to me. And there's going to be all kinds of stories about his whereabouts that'll go around, but the real story is the guy's under some kind of, somebody's rounded him up.
Let's be more specific. Is he rounded up perhaps from nefarious dealings with drug cartels, etc., 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 or is he rounded up by the justice system and perhaps sent to a detention camp? Because you said he's unhappy, he's been held up, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, he could be held up by drug lords who want a bigger take of California, for example.
He's rounded up for dark cult activities.
For his dark cult activities?
Yeah, he's rounded up because he's been involved in devious activities of the person. So it sounds like he got white hat rounded up to me. Is that what you were getting at?
Yeah.
Is he known for that?
I really can't say. I mean, I can say what I read, but apart from that, I don't know. Let's ask then, does his wife know? Because she seems to have retracted that last tweet, and there seems to be confusion. So either she didn't talk to her publicist before putting it out, or the office of his political staff. What's going on? Does she actually know what's going on with her husband? Or is she just trying to hold fort here, being in the dark with the situation? Does she know?
She knows. She knew, and she might have even helped by giving info about him.
Wow. Knowingly helped or mistakenly helped by giving info?
No, I think they were on the outs here.
Huh.
That
Wow.
card is deciding whether you're staying or going in a marriage, and that's in the past.
Wow.
And then somebody came to her. So she was offered a way, maybe out of the marriage even, or out of this whole situation, if she would cooperate. She said yes.
Wow.
So things aren't what they appear to be, or all this, like that's usually the case with these couples, right?
Right. Yeah. A lot of it is facade. Like the Emerald City.
Yeah.
Did we talk about that on this show already? Did I mention that?
No, you haven't mentioned it.
Okay,
Maybe at the very beginning, but I don't think so.
okay, let me see if I can bring that up. Where was that? Hold on a second here. I saw this one here. Okay, so folks, I think this is the weirdest show Janine and I have ever recorded. And we're probably getting close to 100 episodes already. I was looking at our file, Janine. I know my channel was deleted a couple times, so I lost a few episodes, but we're getting close to 100 episodes. And anyways, Janine and I just recorded this very special Janine Investigates episode here on our pay-per-view. It's all about the Wizard of Oz, but it's not what you think. Or at least it's not the investigation or the decode that you think or that you might have heard. Yes, there are tags here to the financial system, but we took it in a very, very different direction. Anyways, it will be up and ready for the Insider Access Pass members later tonight, and probably available for the public sometime tomorrow when I get around to posting the pay-per-view stuff. But Janine, how were you surprised with this one? There was a weird disconnect. It's like at some point we were both kind of said, okay, it's enough. We can't go any further on this episode. Speak about that a little bit.
I think this one might take another episode just to really, because we go down some rabbit holes that maybe a lot of people wouldn't be expecting with this one.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, it's got some twists and surprises. So it's like, so it needs sort of, you have to layer it. You can't it could be even disturbing if you weren't expecting. You're expecting to talk about the movie or something, and then you happen on our version of what's going on in that movie. Like,
yeah, there's a lot going on in that movie, and of course, so anyways, I think we can't really talk about it on this one here, but anyways, guys, so you lucky guys on the Insider Access Pass, you'll get to see that later on tonight. And we have a lot of crazy comments already, Janine, on the one we did last night about that rap concert. Just my emails this morning was like, okay.
Okay, on that note, though, I should say they're really clamping down again on YouTube. Like, Guy had to, my last 3 videos, he's had to tweak them, get, like, they start out 25 minutes and then he puts up 13 minutes of video. He has to cut so many words out. So if you're thinking they're all chopped up and Guy's doing a job on my videos, it's because he puts them up 5 and 6 times and they boot them back to him.
Yeah.
There's they're on the verge of getting a strike or something, so he has to redo and put it back and see what they say. So they're just brutal. It's brutal right now.
It's very frustrating. And folks, this is why Janine and I put together this coupon code for you guys. It's still up and valid. We keep extending it for a lot of reasons here. But again, no more so now than all of this extra censorship here. It gives us the opportunity, of course, on this Insider Access Pass to say it like it is. So again, 10% off here. And the coupon code is Stay Connected. And of course, you get access to all of these episodes before everybody else. And you get to participate here in directing the show with us as well moving forward. Okay, let's go back to the PayPal tip jar here. There's an interesting question from Candice, and it kind of touches the galactic story here a little bit. For many years now, I have felt like I'm a galactic soul on this planet. Even though I find great comfort in the stars, I can't help but feel abandoned by my galactic family. A lot of people will resonate to that in the chat. Why haven't they contacted me? Or am I completely delusional? Thank you. I can imagine a lot of people watching the show have a similar storyboard and thought process at this point. That is from Candice. Thank you, Candice. Really appreciate that.
So that's how she's feeling. So that makes sense to feeling a little bit passed over maybe by her galactic family. Okay, so they're saying that they're waiting and they will get a hold of her. And they were in touch with her when she was between 0 and 12 years old. So at some point before, young teenage and adulthood, they did get a hold of her.
Mm-hmm.
And so she actually has a partner on the galactic side. So she has a soulmate connection and a heartfelt connection that connects with her on a regular basis. So she may want to watch or ask for it to become more conscious, because it's on some level already happening, the connection, and was happening in particular when she was young. And she also has a partner that she really misses that's been lifetimes with her, but they incarnated in the galactic family that she's missing so much. So that's a big part of why she feels like the love of her life is there. So that would make sense, right? But they say she's got a particular purpose here, and they can't interfere too much because she made a deal or whatever with her. Soulfully, she has this mission that she's doing on the earth right now. So, and they will reconnect, and they're looking forward to it. In particular, her love. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. That's a great question and a great response. I'm just a little bit phased here because there's somebody saying something in the Insider Access Pass that I can't really read. It's about Newsom. And all of a sudden it strikes me that perhaps there's a connection there with the Wizard of Oz episode with respect to the red shoes and the basement of Gavin Newsom. Can you pull the card, say yay or nay? Is that maybe in the cards as to why he's been rounded up?
Does he have this thing in the basement?
Yeah. And is that also connected to why maybe he's just been rounded up?
Humanity. Well, I did get he was rounded up for activities like that. So that's a yes. But let's see about this basement story.
Okay. Thank you. Who was asking that? Man, it goes by really quick. You guys are quick.
Yeah, he definitely has a sensual pleasures basement. It's all about his sensual pleasures, nobody else's.
That was Scott H in the Insider Access Pass. Sorry, I didn't want to read too much of that phrase there, Scott, for this live show. But yeah, great question. Wow. So it's a yes?
Yeah.
Janine? Wow.
0 to 12 years old card. Sensual pleasures card. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Susie says, exactly, JC. You got it. All right. I wish I didn't get it, but damn it, I got it. God damn it.
Now you got it.
Yeah. Somebody in the chat says, who needs MSN when you have JC and Janine? I know, right? Isn't this cool? Man. Okay. You guys are overwhelming me with all these questions. I don't know where to go next, guys. Hold on. Lakeside Laura. Okay. When will we get to meet our off-world family? Let's take another pulse on that. I think you've answered this one before, but generally speaking, she says we, so we as humans, I guess, get to meet our off-world family. What's the timeline looking for that now, as we're getting closer and closer to this whole facade breaking down of the Emerald City in the land of Oz?
That's looking like early in the new year. I think the year has to end. There's an ending with this card. Something has to end. And there's a couple more. So because it's a spiritual war, I feel like there's a couple of timelines that are potential in the next couple of months. So between now and the end of the year, or just after the end of the year. So those are the two ways I'd read that. And there's actually things that have to happen. So it's not about time. It's more about when this thing happens and then this happens, then it's time for this. Because that's how this war is going. And I guess all of them go like that. It's about the big moves.
Mhm.
So a couple of moves have to go down, and then time to let everybody in on what's really our real history and who really. I think those off-worlders that used to live here, frankly. I think a lot of them are human or part human, or I think they're literally our family.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So early next year. Man, a lot has to happen for that to also
Yeah.
come out. Wow.
Yeah. And this card says within 6 months and as short as within 2 months, but it all depends on moves that that are happening in this war, let's just say.
Well, and for more on that, make sure to check out the Wizard of Oz decode, because it kind of ties in. You guys are like probably psychic in the show here tonight. You guys are asking great questions. Okay. Back to this one. Ronald, I thought this was absolutely cool. I don't think you and I have ever talked about this topic. Ronald is asking, did my wife and I drown in the Titanic?
Ooh.
Ron and Fran. So past life question, did my wife and I drown when the Titanic went down?
I get that they both might have some kind of fear or, when you have a phobia about something, like, so maybe they both have water phobia or issues with swimming or dunking their heads underwater, or have it the idea of, or fearful of drowning, okay, which might have brought them to the conclusion that, and maybe some other things. But this feels like they might have been around in that lifetime, and they might have heard about it. And maybe even one of them knew really a close, I feel like one of them had a close member who did, but I don't get literally because this card's worrying about something that's not really the case. There could have been another lifetime where the drowning, the two of them happened. So it may not have technically literally been the Titanic, because I'm not getting my yes cards there.
Okay.
But it doesn't look like it looks like at least one of them was around and heard about and had a close association with somebody who did die in the Titanic. Could have even been I'm getting a father-in-law sort of energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know about them, but they both might have died in another lifetime.
Well, we're asking the Titanic, but
yeah, it could have been another big ship.
Yeah. Okay. I was going to ask something else, but okay. Mike T. Armstrong. Well, thank you, Ronald, for that question. It's cool. There's more to that story, Ronald.
There's a lot more.
Yeah, sure. We'll come back to it maybe sometime. Mike T. Armstrong. Is Mr. T here in Canada detained, Janine? What do you think? Is he going to go?
Our Canadian Mr. T?
Yeah. Yeah. Is he perhaps cell buddies with Gavin? I haven't heard that he's missing here per se, but Mike is asking. So I'm like,
yeah. Okay, so he was taken a long time ago, and he's been puppeted for a really long time. So whether or not he's literally now taken, for a while he was going back and forth between sort of lockup, and then they needed him, so they'd parade him around a bit, maybe. But then sometimes we'd see a double of him, because it wasn't always him for sure, like the guy with the beard. But then maybe they trotted him out lately for some reason. Okay, so he's kind of, but he's being puppeted by the good guys. He had to surrender to the good guys, and he's made deals to save, who knows, faced till he will face justice, but he's made some kind of deal. So to make it so, maybe a little less as horrible as it will be, I'm hoping.
Okay. Lakeside Laura says, Jean-Claude and Janine, let's pull an all-nighter. No, I can't. I have to wake up.
No, we can't. I got to do a tarot by Janine after this.
But I got so much work to do too, and so many emails still to follow up on. How much time do we have left? What are we at? We're at 49 minutes. Okay, we have a few more minutes, guys. Keep going with the questions here. We'll try to get as many as we can. Okay, please ask about. Okay, wait. I'll come back to the live chat here in a second. Janine, you and I talked about this the other day. I think it's in the rap video. At the end of it, we just pulled that one in because it was just so weird and out of place. Of course, the title here is Last Call, and as you guys can see, the queen, she's a cardboard cutout, basically. Right. Okay, and of course, if you've been watching this show for any time here, you probably have heard Janine say that this person has already left, and now we're being slowly introduced to the idea that she's going because they're about to announce that she's gone. Janine, let's maybe pull the cards to get some timing. A week, days?
Okay, let's have a look. Yeah. But look at the background. There's a storm coming. And then there's certain people lit up there that I think are going to be also go the way of the queen. Maybe they haven't already.
Yeah. But it's an interesting cover. Last call.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Unbelievably interesting.
Yeah.
Like if somebody didn't go, what the heck's going on there? Then they're like, really? They just took that at face value and thought it was perfectly all right. It's there's something funny. Humans must be really dense, okay? If they haven't got something's going on here. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Guys, also, while we're pulling on this one, please retype that question on silver. I don't know if it was from the Insider Access Pass or you guys here in the live chat. Anyways, I'll look for it. If I see it, I'll bring it back on the screen for you guys. In the meantime, let's keep going here with this last call. Timing on the announcement that she's actually gone. That's what we're looking for.
Okay, so strategy. So they probably check in daily with what's a good, because this is like every day they're changing their mind here. See that guy's moving all his swords around depending on, so they're using it as a strategy. So they got something, it's going to start a bunch of dominoes. Okay, so they want to be exactly sure. So the whole timing of it's all based in all of these other things that are going on, and it's gotten held up. It's actually a few days later than they thought it would be. But they're patiently waiting because they want to utilize the announcement a certain way. Yeah, they're going to utilize it a certain way, but there's certain things got to happen first. And some of them have to do with big arrests is what I get. Which, by the way, they've been doing. Apparently, the last 10 days was really the 10 days of darkness wasn't for us. It was for the cult members.
You know, that's funny you say that. In one of the videos, Cliff High said that. He says, you know, when Biden said winter was coming, he was referring to himself and his administration being in danger.
Yeah, let's put that in our minds. Let's stop being fearful, stop being victimized by this, and just assume we're going to come out on top. Let's start all believing that and make a big wave of energy, of intention. It's not hopium. It's actually the way your energy works like that. My whole life, I changed it by just thinking differently.
Well, there you go. That's our friend here, Mr. B. A dark
winter's coming for his butt. You better believe it.
Exactly. And Mona on the screen referring to the Queen, she says, oh my God, can we just get it going already? Yes. Stop it with all of the delays. I get it. Anyways, okay, there's a couple of questions on silver, and I forget which one was the rich one. Let's start with this one here. Easy. I guess that's how you pronounce the name. Silver. Best to keep, this is good actually. It's not the same one. Best to keep silver long term or sell after this big increase that's coming up. Strategy there. Before we do that, Janine, explain to the people here your predictions on gold and silver. For people who haven't watched your show before, they don't know why this guy's or everybody else is asking about silver here specifically. What have you said on the price of silver here moving forward?
I always get between late November and December. It's like the rains come off, because it's been repressed and held back by a lot of different things just in history. It's
Yeah.
been also hidden from us to be the true value of it, in particular silver.
Yeah.
And I think it'll really all of a sudden just shoot up. That's what I get anyway.
You said $600 sometime this year.
Yeah, somewhere in that is what when we looked at it, like I think on our second
Beyond
crypto
Crypto
boom.
Woo. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, or no, I think we got it consistently all along at that price.
Yeah. Yeah. And then also parity with gold, which is a little bit further out, but still, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Silver at the same price of gold. So,
Yeah.
okay. Now, what would that person was asking? Was it Susan? No, easy. Okay, there's another one from Susan there. Silver. So is it best to keep it long term or sell it after this big increase? Because Cliff High and John Williams of Shadow Sasso says, hold on for dear life with your silver. They're going to come up with all of these schemes to try to get it from you, including giving you a lot in return for it, houses, hookers and booze, whatever it is, but hold on because it's going to be even bigger.
The bad guys are going to want it from you. He's right. So don't be hasty. It would be bedeviling for you to be hasty. Hang on to it. Let it work for you. Find ways to make it work for you. So I don't know exactly how that is. I'd have to look into how these things work. But hold on to it. And then here we've got, give it at least, even in the year, like within a year, even. Aces can be years. 1 year. So give it a year and then really look at it. So if you need to sell some of it, so that might be make it work for you.
Right.
Like get certain things put in place for yourself.
Right.
And then ride it with a chunk of it for sure. Because it's gonna really work for you within a year, I'm thinking. Or even like with these two cards now, I'm thinking maybe between June and then next year. So next year, June, and then look at it again, maybe. So this card would be like October. So between the air signs, June and October, that could really be interesting. It could really hit some highs then.
And perhaps at that $600 silver, that first mark, like Cliff was saying, that's just the beginning to let you know that we're at this end game of this Ponzi scheme and it's going to go much, much higher. But maybe there for the person asking easy, sell a little bit if you need, like to pay things that are urgent for you. But I think overall what these guys are all saying is hold on, it's going to go actually a lot higher and people are going to try to grab it from you with a whole bunch of schemes. Like I think the Web About Data was talking about these weird schemes that would come up to get silver from you. So maybe hold on. In the meantime, if you want to put your hands on some silver and you don't have them, please check out beyondmystic.net/hi-ho silver. This is the weekly special for the silver cool grands at $3.95 over spot, and the Wall Street Mint 10-ounce bars. These are specialty bars also at $3.15 over spot. Really good price. Check that out at hi-ho silver, beyondmystic.net. All right. Next question in the chat. Hey, my buddy Joe is here. He says, let's ask about the mountain in New Mexico. We're going to get lucky. Okay. So, Janine, Joe and I are treasure hunting in this area of New Mexico, undisclosed area, on a private property of Joe's friend. And there's a lot of legends out there about some treasure being hidden. But over the last number of years, we've realized that, yes, there's gold and silver there, but there's something much more important, including archaeology, perhaps artifacts that would rewrite our history. And so we're right there, very close to one of those sites. So are we going to get lucky? By that he means, will we eventually find what the spiritual world is asking us to find? And I say that here because we've been involved in quite so many spiritual endeavors that lead us to believe that we're on this mission here, where we were called there with our monkey brains for gold and silver. We realize there's a bigger mission at play here. So will we get lucky? Do you want to say, Joe, maybe 2022? Because I know for now we can't go to New Mexico in the next couple of months. So let's just say for 2022, does it look good? And if not, well, let's start with first. Are we going to get lucky? And then we'll get into the timing, Janine. Maybe you start there.
I think you will. I think you'll get lucky enough to feel like you can fund yourself independently for the rest of your life. Lucky. So there's definitely some actual monetary stuff there somehow. or something that's going to be valuable that you could trade in for actual like abundance, because this card's pretty practical. Okay. But then there's this card underneath it, which is temperance. So some kind of big healing, some kind of big energy healing shift happens, maybe even in the process of you two going looking. I feel like it heals something from your past lives. So the two of you are going to heal some kind of personal energy or karmic energy by doing this together. So it's personally healing.
Joe must be like shitting his pants, because all of this is all about healing the wounded warrior and all the massacres of the natives in that area and giving back to them their original grounds and their power and a lot of the things that we're hitting there that belongs to them. This is the mission we're on, Janine. Well, you got it right on the head.
That makes total sense. And it feels like it does have to do with a warrior energy, okay, but in a really positive light.
Mm-hmm.
So a very inspired spiritual warrior. So yeah, this is it's way deeper than just stuff, but you'll also find some stuff.
Wow. Anyways, he's going, LOL. Yes, man, you're right on the money. So to speak, Jenny, you're right on the money. Wow. Okay. Man, I think we're already at 100 minutes here. We should go. We're at the hour mark, I guess. I know you have another show, and I've got all these emails to do. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. That was amazing. Well, Jenny, maybe quickly pull some cards for the audience here. Whatever the universe wants them to know here in the next couple of days until we meet again here, because things are moving very, very rapidly in the world. What does the universe want them to know here?
Wow. Those who've been patiently waiting for Mr. T are going to get their Mr. T, it looks like. Don't believe the stories that he's not coming back. He's never coming back. That's just not true. You've been very patient, it says. You've been very patient. He's been really busy fighting these guys. That's funny. And taking them to task. So the idea was that they make sure they got foolproof. So these guys never get to rise again. Maybe they don't have the big bug, and we'll talk about that in a special, but they're going to get the bugs on the earth plane. They're draining the swamp for sure. And a whole lot of people got rounded up, you guys. And so you got to trust that's going on. Now I'm not telling you drop everything and just sit around and trust somebody's going to save you. I'm not saying that. We've got to be doing our bit. Our bit's going to really help. Like everything that's happening in Australia, they're really pushing it. And they're actually really woke up and they're pushing so hard, daily rallies and things like that. And we might need to do that too. Like there's all of that. That's sort of this level. On this level, we have our work to do. But there's also people working diligently, and Mr. T's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he's got a big fat ego and some people don't like him and whatever, he's doing a lot of work for humanity.
Mm-hmm.
Every time I do cards, I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't start out a fan, so I'm not just buggy-eyed over Mr. T.
Somebody I know just had a conversation with ET, and that person was asking, hey, is Mr. T actually working for humanity? And ET said, yeah. And that person wasn't, sure that was the case. And so anyways, there's more to this story. I'll leave it at that. We'll probably come back to it on the show here, guys. In the meantime, guys, please do stay connected here with the Insider Access Pass. Coupon code again, active for a couple of days here. Stay connected is the coupon code to give you 10% off. And tomorrow night, yes, I believe it's tomorrow night. Yes, Bryce and Janine are back on the show. So that's actually at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So please join us for that episode. Absolutely cool. Wednesday night, Janine is back on the show, of course, for another live stream. And this Thursday, Galactic Tarot with Ashley. This is going to be the premiere. So excited about this one. Maybe Janine will pop in 2 minutes for a cameo. Who knows? It could be fun. It could be. I don't
want to steal her thunder.
Right. Anyway, it's going to be a really cool show. Ashley and I have an idea of how to do a similar type of tarot episode, but it's with a twist. It's going to be a little bit more galactic, as the title suggests, and Ashley's very much connected to that frequency. So I'm looking forward to developing this show with her. So join us for that. That's going to be at 5 p.m. Eastern. On Thursday, and on Friday at 4 p.m. Indigo Angel is coming back on the show. She had postponed this show from the last time here, trying to pull more data on this land of Oz. And there's more to that story also coming from her absolutely amazing work she's doing as well. So check us out this week. An amazing schedule. So in the meantime, please do like, share, and subscribe here at Sending Ravens on YouTube, and also Tarot by Janine. This was Tarot Readings by Janine. All right, guys, I love you. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Au revoir.
Au revoir.